Hello, farmers. Rever here, back for another episode of Canadian National Map, version 2. And I was down here and I was cutting some more trees. And it's actually been a little while in real life since the last episode. Oops. I love the fact that you can pick stuff up. I mean, to me, that just is kind of huge, you know? Just so you can clean up that little kind of stuff. Well, buddy. There you go. Get in there. That's just nice, you know. Those little odd bits used to. You know, I'm not the kind of guy that leaves spots on the field if I can avoid it. I don't like that little dirtiness, so to speak. You know, I like things to be complete. And oops, I didn't want to get in that guy. Get in this guy and shut him off. Waste of gas to turn them on for that much wood, but there we go. All right, so there we go. All right, so now I'm going to hop over the train, teleport, and I want to try a little experiment. Oops. I didn't do. Is this the right train? Yes. Let's get back in the cab. I don't know. Driving the train in the cab. You know. Again, half the reason I'm doing this map is just to see what I like, and you know, do I like actually using the head tracker? And so far, the answer is definitely yes. It you know, not having to worry about that other hand, you know, to try to move the mouse while you're doing other things in the tractor, and I just don't have enough hands to move that at that point, so. So we're going to bring the train around here, which means we got to stop early. Slow down early. Let's start slowing down now. Let's glide a little bit. So I have an idea. I want to go buy a conveyor. I'm sure there's going to be some other point that I'm going to want a conveyor. And I want to see if I can't use the conveyor, save myself some time, maybe even. And I'm going to try to pull kind of far down because I think those clear. You know, let's just get out of the cab for a second. All right, that's probably pretty close, you know, like, there you go. So let's hop out of here and we'll go get in our tractor. And then, can't even see the tractor. Oh, yeah, we can. And then let's go get a conveyor, and then I'm going to have to run all the way back and get the sucker up or off the ground. I don't think you can just use the conveyor. Yeah, I need to change that setting so I hop in here each time. Sure what that little jiggle was about. Anyway. Oh, I forgot that when I landed the last episode in that tractor, it was going insane. Oops. Let's remember how to raise this guy up. I think we just used the mouse. There it goes. Let's turn it this way a little bit. Yeah, it looks like that might work, huh? Then we use the other mouse. We'll extend that guy out. Oh, yeah. Okay. So now we got to get it lined up with the sucker upper part. Oh. I think I can just... I don't think it'll take me back to that thing. It's actually pretty close to what I was looking for anyhow. Probably... Heck, you know what? We might be able to just... Why don't we move the chipper a little bit? Alright, let's use the mouse too to... And that looks like it should go in there, right? Yes, it does. So, yeah, rather than even bother with this tractor, now that we got the whole tractor set up, we should have solved this problem. Well, we need the tractor anyway. Let's get rid of F1. Going in. Now, is that not the right kind of car? Or is it not in the right spot? Tell me I can put that in there. Please. Oh, you know what? We might not be over it enough. Let's back up a little bit. Look, another gold nugget. Laying there the whole time, I guess, and I didn't see it. Alright, yeah, let's try. No, is that not going to work? Gosh darn it. It's just not going to put wood chips in there. See what, you got to manually dump the wood chips in. Well, let's try the train again. Yeah, move right over the center of it, so... It's not working. Well, that's about a bummer. Let's get this guy out of the way. Wonder if you need that other... Let's go see if we can't put him in this other train. Right. Far enough back. But just out of curiosity, because this one has another cart. And then I guess there's no way to add a cart to a train. Well, I mean, you know what? I bet you there is. Let's just see, because... Stop. A lot of head swinging here, huh? Over that guy. Yeah. You would think if you build a game, you would allow for this as a possibility, wouldn't you? I would. Just telling you guys. So, well, before I disparage too much, let's just see if this lasts. Over it enough. I think I'm there. Yeah, so conveyor won't use the train, huh? Alright. Well, that was a waste of time. Well, I guess we learned something. Hopefully I wasted my time and not yours. So don't try this at home, kids. Yeah, no, there's nothing happening. Alright, so let's get this guy out of the way. I wish there was a pin option. I mean, you should be able to pin that cart, that thing, so it just always stays straight, you know? Oh, now I gotta suck up the rest of that anyway, don't I? Yeah, let's get that back in the... Let's get this back in the wagon. Now, what I was thinking, too, was to, like, line all that stuff up, you know? And, of course, I'm not going to be able to do it that way. Oops, I'm not in CAD. Okay, let me change that setting. All right, guys, I muted for a minute and forgot to unmute. But anyway, I think the trailer's proven to be or the conveyor's proven to be a pretty big waste of time here. So let's go get this thing out of the way. And hopefully we'll use it sometime soon. Yeah, that's really disappointing that there's no... I mean, other than using the bucket loader, which is... Yeah, that's about a pain in the patooter. You know, why doesn't the conveyor thing work? I thought I had a genius idea going there. Yeah, maybe it does somehow that I'm not aware of, but... Oops, can't get in there. Alright, so let's... Yeah, see, this is kind of what I'm talking about, like right here, where this thing holds like 31,000. I'm better off just taking this. Oh, by the way, this guy's price hasn't dropped from 250,000, so kind of got myself boxed in here, don't I? So I'll show you where I've been selling it. And I thought what I might do is just super fast forward, so I'll probably pause the video for a minute. And then, you know, go super fast and show myself doing some of this work. Not sure if all of that will work out. Otherwise, it's just going to be, I think, too long for even one of my videos, which tend to be long. Alright, so I'm going to get this sold off and rinse and repeat many times and get ourselves enough money to do something useful. Well, this has been a grind. But I did figure a few things out, which I think will benefit you guys. One is if you jump into this guy, we'll hit F1 real quick, and see how if we hit left control I, it'll automatically unload. So it makes a little bit of a pile. Now this is a tiny bit of an issue. Really wouldn't even call it an issue, but once in a while, if you want, you come up here and move this guy a tiny bit forward so he picks up the rest of the stuff. It doesn't, yeah, it's really a non-problem. Just, there you go. And that got the rest in there. So that's what this is allowing me to do, is this thing only holds 5,000. And what I was having to do is when I'm in here, let's get rid of that. Let's turn this thing on and go get another tree. You can see we made some good progress on the trees. Let's go we're getting kind of far away, but that's all right. So let's get one of these guys cut down. Found is nice. Let's get this guy turned this way and then lift him all the way up. Until you can barely see him. Shoot. Get your head just in the right position with this tracking. So what I thought I'd do, by the way, is wrap up the rest of this episode with a few tips and tricks that I kind of learned. A little hard to judge your distance there, but that's okay too. So let's just hit X and see what happens. We look pretty close. Get fairly good at it. So here we go. So we'll do this. Now if you look, we're making a pile there, but we don't pick it up as fast as we make it. So, but the real nice thing is that this wood chipper doesn't suck wood chips into the void this way too. Like where in the past, if the conveyor or if the thing stopped up, you wouldn't have it. You would just lose those wood chips once the buffer got filled, the inventory in the chipper itself. And I do want to show you the next tip. Let's get rid of this tree first. These last ones tend to bounce around sometimes before you can get them right. I wanted to show you how I've been picking up a tree. I mean, since I figured out the conveyor thing, I haven't had to do this, but let's get this guy over here. So we'll come here. Let's cut him down. Let's come over here. And now let's back up. We're going to throw a few logs in there. So let's say you didn't want to go by the conveyor, which I could understand. So, let's go a little bit more forward. Closer. So I'm going to lower him down. Put that's really good. Let's back up that more. And one thing I notice is as you cut the tree, it goes further in. Let's just say you didn't have the conveyor like I didn't in the beginning. You needed to put this tree down. One of the things I noticed is if I lift the tree up, it pulls it slightly closer to me. So I will then jump out of the cat, then go down. go like right there. I get out, right? And it drops that tree. Pain in the butt. So we get back in it. And then what you want to do is you want to turn this to face the direction that the trees is. You have to go this way. Like, see how that is? But because we dropped it off a little bit higher, when we come down, we'll be a little bit closer. Make a liar out of me. So what we need to do, I'm going up, and then I'm pulling the small arm in, and then of course I hit the tree. I got pretty good at this at one point. So now we have it here. Now I'm going to try to go forward a little bit. We have to tilt that guy down. So I'm going to put my F1 on so I can see. Then I'm going to try to bring this guy down and see if he won't tilt forward. Of course he's not going to now. See how I'm trying to tilt that guy forward? There you go. See? Don't move too much. Now we'd hit X. Ah, did I lose it? I lost my X that quick. Come on. There you go. See how I have the X? Ah, the X went away as soon as I hit the button. There you go. So that wasn't the most smooth, but you get the idea. Like I said, I was doing a little bit better before. I'm not sure why I didn't do as well there. Let's lift this guy back up and get him back into place. But the good thing about having the conveyor is you don't end up having to do that. Now we're kind of, let's put the arm back out. Put that one down, pull the arm back in a little bit. That should be pretty good there, maybe. Yeah, it does that once in a while, too. So let's go back up. There you go. See, I got it back pretty quickly that time. Well, anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that. Now, another thing that is a little bit like a cheat is I've been selling this wood for a while, as you guys can tell. I think I had, what, $30,000 or something like that when I left you. And if we come in here real quick and take a look at our prices and jump over here, notice this is still at 52. That's because I actually had the game crash for some reason when I was trying to start up my recording software. But these prices bounce right back up to where they were. Now, I'm not sure if that's always going to happen, but it has happened last night when I went to bed. This is early in the morning right now, and I was thinking, oh man, I'm gonna go do something else. The prices were getting down below, well below 200 on all four of them, and I just restarted the map, and it seemed to do. It just reset the prices. So I don't know if you guys want to take advantage of that. It's certainly a bit of a cheat at that point. That is a thing. So we'll get this guy all chopped up. Now see, we're completely full, and rather than having to let go of that guy, we can just get them all chipped up. We're not losing anything. I'm sure there's some limit to, well, there's probably no limit to the size of the pile if you're willing to move your conveyor around. The conveyor is a little wonky. It gets like lifted up in the air sometimes, and also probably take a couple loads here. I found if you park this guy real close to that thing, sometimes you jump in the stupid chipper when you need to jump in this guy. So I've been pulling him a little bit further away so I can jump in here, turn him off, not end up in the, seems like every time I want to get in the chipper, I end up in the Scorpion King and vice versa. All right, so we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to come here real quick, and we're going to say, okay, train power plant. So let's go there first. And the train power plant is up by the power plant, which is over here. First I thought the power plant was that brick building, but it's not. It's some kind of a silo. power plant is like the heating, biomass heating of the past, which is the thing just past it here. I'll be up there in a second. Yeah, so at first I thought that was it, you know, but this thing doesn't, that brick building doesn't take wood chips at all. But there's 2 cell points here, and then there's 2 cell points down by the sawmill. And I, for the life of me at this point, without going in maybe and modifying the map, which I really don't want to do, but I figured out that this is the train. This cell point works fine for the tractor. For the life of me, I don't know how to get. The thing. So there's the cell point. This is the power plant. So this would have been the biomass heating in the past. I don't know if this thing, does it take more than, so this would be the power plant, would be that one right there. So I don't see it taking grass or anything else. No, that's the only thing it takes is wood chips. So, but we're selling it to here. You see this price even just kind of instantly dropped. So now the next one we'll do is maybe we'll go over to train wood chips. And I'll show you that one since that's the highest price anyway. So we made $8,300, and by the time that price, oh, that guy looks like he's in midair. Not from a, doesn't he? Yeah, he definitely looks like he's in the air. All right. Well, anyway, there's the train and the power plant, and I've been riding around. It's been quite a grind. Now here's advice for anyone who, I mean, I know you guys are gamers, so you probably don't know this, or you probably already may have experienced. You know, I had a carpenter come to my business, and mentioned I played farm sim. You know, I don't know, just, you know, he was working, I was seeing how things were going, bullshitting, I guess is the term for it. Mentioned I played, and he made like a, you have nothing better to do? And you must be bored. And that guy's never been back to my business. So, watch what you say to customers if you are, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want your opinion if it's negative. And that's not the only reason, but he cut corners and stuff. Like, I used to do carpentry. And, you know, I know enough about it to know what's right. But even more than that, he'd argue with me about what I wanted. I'm paying you, buddy. Just go do what I want. You know, I don't care if what you think is right is right. I do what I want. I wasn't asking him to violate any codes or safety issues or anything like that. You know, it's more a matter of style, I guess you could say. He'd sit there and argue with me about it. It's my building. I'm allowed to do with it what I want. All right, so there we go. So this is another positive to the conveyor system, is that, you know, while that guy's filling up, and it is a bit slower, so maybe it's net not such a positive, but we can be off gathering another tree, so even though the conveyor system's a bit slow, you know, certainly not the end of the world as far as your overall time goes. I like to back up real quick, get that guy away, get him lifted up, turn him off to the side. That just helps me kind of gauge. You know, it's a little hard in cab to gauge exactly where you're at, forward or backwards. A little easier to do in real life, but not perfect. All right, let's see what that does for us. Now watch what happens. As we cut this whole tree up, they'll start falling further forward, which could be a problem if you go too far. You know, you see how they're starting to fall? Now you're not going to be able to see. Get back in the cab. I hit the C button instead of the X. So see how they're now falling almost right on the conveyor? So this can be a problem if you're you know, I had a few fall off on the ground because I was the other. I mean, it's a good amount more forward. Those logs are falling right now, so keep that in mind. But this is pretty mindless. Now, you know, part of the whole idea with this series is seeing how it is in cab, and I'll say this: I'm enjoying it. However, one of the reasons I cut the videos, I wanted to watch YouTube videos, and if I look at my other computer, this is, you know, this is what I see. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but you do have a toggle ability, so I probably should use that. If I hit this page up, where's it page down? No, neither one of those is working. Control, no, it's not turning it off. I thought I set my options up right. Well, you do have the ability with this open track to, you know, to get it fixed, so I'm sure I could have. But at that point, I was just grinding along, I guess you could say. Decided not to record. So I did do a lot of this not in cab, just to be honest with you fellas. And another reason it's a little bit weird because, you know, the screen doesn't move. When I turn my head, oh, look, I did manage to turn it off. There we go. Okay. So that didn't turn it off. That did. Okay. See how so there you go. I thought I did set that up. So I could have done that, you know, at that point. Those trees are awful close. Alright, we got enough wood here, don't we? We need to, probably shouldn't have cut that one. Alright, well, that'll be more practice for us. Now, there is a sort of limit here to how much I want to do before we get into the farming. Let's turn that guy off. And we'll head down to the other power plant. And I want to talk to you about the fields. Now, I went and modified all the field prices. If you watched the last little semi-episode, or how to mod and made the fields buyable, whatever the heck I called it. Oops, I turned off my head tracker. So let's hit this. So there we go. So yeah, I can freeze that. If you want to, you know, get it right where you want, and then I want to, now I'm turning my head left, right, and sideways. So that's a nice little feature. So overall, do I like it? Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to this forestry, it's definitely more immersive. But I was saying that, you know, when you look in real life, if you turn your head, your eyeballs are still straight. Do you know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons you turn your head to go. Like if you're in the car. Now, of course, you move your eyeballs, you know, wherever you want to look. But here the problem is if you turn your head to the left, like I am right now, I have to look back to the right to see the screen, you know? So I would imagine that this could be awesome, you know, if you set yourself up with like 3 monitors or something. All right, so this is the train. Let's hop out real quick while this is unloading. So this is the train sawmill. And then this back over here, all the way over here is the sawmill, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me why the sawmill would buy wood chips, but you would think that they would make their own wood chips and be a seller of wood chips. So there we go. So that's your 4 sell points on this map. But yeah, so over time, there's 2 things that happen with this. You know, when one of the things is you find yourself holding your head very still. So it doesn't happen to me for quite a while, but over a period of time, you know, like because your neck is controlling the camera, or your head, well, my ears, I guess, with the headphones on. But, you know, you find yourself, my neck starts getting stiff. You know, and that might be after a couple hours, but hey, that's the kind of guy I am when it comes to farm sim. I've already been at it for 2 hours this morning, you know. So, you know, that was another reason last night for just giving it a break. You know, it's just the whole head holding still kind of thing was getting to be a bit much. So, but other than that, I am definitely enjoying it. You know, is it worth doing? Overall, I've played, you know, if you're playing racing games, it's barely worth it. You know, like your average racing game, you know, you're really not looking left and right. But if you're playing like American Truck Simulator or European Truck Simulator, then I would have to say, let's turn around. Can't see anything anyway, but we're in there. Yeah, so of course there's limited views. We barely made it. That's okay. All right, let's pull it a little bit more forward. So, you know, the more you would turn your head in a game, so I haven't even tried like Elite Dangerous, which I have, and I'm not a big space, you know, player, though I did enjoy playing Elite Dangerous a bit. It just isn't quite my style. So, you know, to me, there's just no way it's worth $160, you know, which is what Track IR would cost you. And again, that's just me. It doesn't mean, you know, some of it has to do with the amount of money I have or don't have kind of thing, or just more even just the, you know, is it worth it? There, let's hit F1. So you see how I'm trying to, now I want to go down a little bit with this guy. And then come back up. Oh, come on. All right, let's go back up with him. There you go. Got the X, and he grabs on. All right, so now let's get this guy. Yeah, it helps to face this way a little bit. Though all the controls are still backwards. Alright, I'm getting too... So can I just turn that guy a bit? Not too far away, yeah. Right at him. See, that's a little bit too close. So I'm going to put that arm out, which raises it up for a minute, but then I'll put this one down. Pull this one back in a bit. Let's just see what happens. First thing it is... Oh, come on. What the heck? Yeah, now we don't want to get out because we'll lose our, you know, arm position, so to speak. Let's bring this guy. Now let's bring this guy down. Let's turn. Yeah, see, now I'm too close. See what happens. Yeah, I really don't want to get out. Knock this guy in. Let's go back out a little bit. Come over this way a bit more. So that's probably a good. There we go. See, sometimes you can, just by sheer force of a pile of crap being in the way. Other times it just gets all jammed up, but I've learned this is about as big a pile of crap as I've had in there. You know, it is grinding them up, I think. Well, anyway. I forget what I was saying. Now I got this stupid mess in there. We're going to have to hop up there and see what's holding the whole works up. We'll move one log, and the whole thing will get all better. Again, let's move this guy slightly further away from this thing. Spin my head back around, come kind of down so I'm a little closer. Alright, so let's hop up here. This guy seems like he might be holding the dorks. this guy. Oops. There. Let's put these in. Yeah, don't worry, you won't get sucked in and die. But there's not much money you could pay me to climb up on that thing in real life. Well, you probably could, but it would have to be a good chunk of change before I'd climb up on that machine to clear it out while it was running. Just not worth it. That's not the way I want to go. Ground up into wood chips. Whoa, that's a good one. Look at it, made it. And special log floated in midair for us. Going in, so we can turn this guy off. Wood chips still come out, so you can see we got a pretty big pile building up, but we didn't have to stop. And this guy doesn't seem like he's got any. Oh, yep, he is full. So take a quick look at this. What's our best price? Looks like the power plant. Not by much, but we'll head over to the power plant. I see my mirrors flickering on this tractor there. A little. I guess they're convex mirrors so that you can see. They really, yeah, it's just at that certain angle. I assume that's showing up on the video. Alright, let me sell this off. We'll get back to the place. And then I want to talk about, we have enough money now to buy field 3, which is a decent 14-acre field. And right now it needs to be plowed to be 14 acres or close to it. But we should get a fairly good yield off of it. And I want some fields to start working for me. Not that I'm not enjoying the forestry, but... So we're going to spin in here to the power plant. See that little maneuver there where you can just look and see a little better? It makes a big difference in the immersion, you know. Alright, so while this is unloading, let's take a look at P. And the field itself should be around 170,000. So what we're going to want, more than anything, is a seeder. Where the hell is the... There they are. Knew it was on that page. And I really don't even want to get involved with these little ones. You know, they're just fine, but, you know, I'd rather just save up my money and get a big one. Now, this guy doesn't fertilize, so I definitely want one that fertilizes. This one only does, I'd rather have one that does all of these crops than not. Which leaves the $96,000 Horse Pronto, which is awful expensive, but would probably be the last seeder that we bought. And this is a modded one, which does the corn and soybeans, so really probably even need to just take that out. You know, and eventually we would get, you know, want this guy for that. But this, you know, so to me it's either like 9 meters or, you know, I don't see anything that this one's going to do potatoes. No, the Tempo F8 here seeds and fertilizes. But see, again, it only does... I wish there was one that seeded and fertilized in the 6 meter range. This one I think is 4.5. Which, you know, that one's probably not a bad one. But again, it only does the corn and whatever. And then you get down into here and you get only 3 meters. So it's sort of like 3 meters in my opinion. So we need a modded one that's somewhere in between, is really what we kind of need. I don't really need to fork out 96,000 at this point in the map. But there's not anything that's between there and there. I mean, yeah, this is in between, but it doesn't fertilize. So this fertilizes, but it doesn't do all the crops. So this does potatoes. Yeah, so maybe I'll look for a modded thing between now and then. Something that's in the 40 or 50,000 range. And then after that, it's a matter of a harvester. But I figure we can work on getting a harvester. I definitely don't need the smallest one, but it might be a while before we have 200,000. So we might even consider leasing, something in this ballpark. This is the good old 7130 case. It's going to cost us 30,000 to lease it, but that might. Are we better off leasing that and buying another field? Rather than spending 300 grand, I think we might be better off getting another field. And the fact is that the leasing will help us, will get us harvested. So we'll see. Well, I'm going to go back and keep at this for a little bit longer. Until at least we have enough money. Maybe I'll go look for another mod and come back in the next episode and we can get that field purchased. And what do we have? 199,000. So we probably have about an extra 30 grand right now. So if I do this a little bit longer until I have, about 50 grand, we should be in good shape. So, well, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you have a good day, and I will talk to you in the next episode. See you guys. Bye-bye.